streaming. Protein shake. Nature sounds. Sounds of the field. Birds. Wind. Storyboarding some forming. Yoink. Let's make this a little smaller. Oops. All right. What are we doing today? We're storyboarding a scene where the Emperor of Dogon has to divert power from the slums to the palace because they're running out of energy resources. Des Moines. What's up, Dead Man's Diary? Soup guy. So is that what he is? A soup guy? This is Slave 16. I'll show you. That's his name in the story. Slave 16 just hangs out inside a wall. Apam's going to go tell his slave to go turn the energy on, or divert the energy from the slums. Go down to the switch room and divert the southeast grid pool to the palace. The slums? Yes, go. And then let's go down the elevator in his little coffin thing. And like I designed the grid, the power grid room. The guy God turned into soup. Oh no, this has nothing to do with that. Thanks, Dead Man's Diary. Second, what's up? Russian. Alright, so I gotta work on a new scene here. He lands, the elevator lands in this like basement switch room that I have to design, where they're gonna switch the divert the power from the slums. So I gotta figure out. Right, so let me rough this out real quick. I'll make a rough layer, and then so the elevator's gonna like land here basically, back here. A wall. Okay. Maybe there's a big switchboard or something. this. Something here. Switchboard. Maybe it's a big grid of the city or something like that. Maybe. Oh, something. And then I think might take me a little while to figure this out. So that's like a pit. Maybe there's some stairs here. It's gonna feel like grimy, like he's going to this like the steam the boiler room, you know, kind of thing. Hey, Ninetales. So it might take me a second to figure this out because I don't know, I haven't really thought about this too much yet. There's like multiple steps going down. Platform here. Steps here. Something like that. Maybe on both sides. I don't know. Right. That doesn't look right. Maybe I need to figure out the perspective first. Alright, let's figure out the perspective. At least give me something. Do I want to do 1 point perspective? No. That's the horizon line. So then the perspective would be like I have a theater of people. A theater of people saw my short yesterday. I have till September to change whatever for Inuit TV. It was fun, and I wasn't in the program with my writer, but they gave me a certificate anyway. Congratulations. On finishing your film and showing it. That's awesome. Let me know whenever it can be seen publicly. Something like that. Make it. Just give me something to work with here. Guess he's back with a vengeance. Maybe. Let's put this. Let's put this here. Let's move this over here. Copy. Okay. Oops. Thank you. I was so scared redoing it this month and finishing it enough to show I got to pull one all-nighter at the broadcasting center. That's great. I'm glad you were able to pull it through and make it happen, you know? Seemed like there were some challenges, but you got through it. Just gonna start making shapes, and I'm not gonna worry too much about what I'm doing. Just make some shapes. Make some shapes. And make some shapes. Some shape booth. I went into a booth for the first time and tried drum dancing. That was scary too. I don't know what drum dancing is, but I imagine it has something to do with dancing and drumming. Guess. Making shapes. What's good? Crazy. Anything good lately? Well, I think I'm going to play the PS5 demo of Mortal Shell 2 tonight. So I'm kind of excited about that. Slightly. Right now I'm just trying to design this like power grid room. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I'm just gonna find some shapes. Inuit drums have really cool resonancy sound. That's cool. Got some steps. You want steps? No, I don't want steps. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Wait, you worked on Adventure Time? Oh my god. I did. And I worked on the new one too, the side quests. If you check that out. Um, yeah, I worked on Adventure Time. It was a fun, great experience in my life. One of the great experiences of my life. Let's see. What am I doing? What am I doing? Right. Let's go here. Go like this. Make a little platform. This. This. Oops. I'm gonna make a little karate combat pit kind of thing. Maybe. This. This. Sorry, I've been tuned out. Got to stream in the background. Are you animating for Jesus 2 right now, or is this some other project just for some fun? This is an I'm animating. I mean, I'm creating an animatic for the adaptation of my graphic novel Forming, which you can see in the bottom left corner. There's a company called Bardo that optioned my book and is asking me to adapt it. So I'm adapting the first couple story beats for a pilot. Always happy to see professional artists on this platform. It's mostly all slops. AI slops nowadays? Is it mostly AI slops nowadays? On YouTube? That Love Island Fruit, AI Fruit, or whatever channel, is that still going? Yeah, I can play you guys some of what this is so far, but a bit. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this perspective here because it's not working for me. So I'm just gonna do this and here. I went through the last 200 pages last night. Can't wait for the book. Oh, nice. You hadn't read the last bit of it before, Dougie? I want to see you showing Adult Swim so badly, bro. Yes. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I know the people at Adult Swim, especially now. A lot of the people who are in charge at Adult Swim now are like former Adventure Time, either producers or art directors. They actually asked me to storyboard recently on a thing, but I'm too busy doing this. I'm trying to adapt forming, and I don't want to get distracted. So I had to turn down some work actually at Adult Swim, which might have been, I don't know, like could have been a mistake for me career-wise, but because I've never storyboarded anything for an Adult Swim show. But I'm really trying to bang this out. I need to finish this. I need to finish this pilot within the next month. Because I'm going to be performing it live in September, mid-September. So I need to have the whole pilot episode ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Are you okay? Your voice sounds a little hoarse. Yeah, no, I'm totally fine. I'm a little like super underslept. I've been underslept for, I feel like, for like 2 weeks. I don't know. So that could be affecting me. I'm like deliriously tired all the time. How do I decide which project takes priority? Good question. I just wing it every day. I just wing it. Right now, the this is taking most of priority, but I'm working on two. I'm working on two Jesus 2 shorts at the same time, but I'm also like delegating. Like I'm the money I'm making storyboarding this from the company that's paying for it. I'm spending on hiring people to help me animate Jesus 2 stuff. Sleep spell your ass. Yeah, I know. You just sleep spell my ass. For real. Okay, let's see. Yeah, last night I could not fall asleep. Okay. I don't know if these are going to end up being the right shapes, but I'm just going to keep exploring until I find the right shape of this room. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Do diseases of the mind keep you up? Diseases of the mind? What is that? Is that like having borderline personality disorder or something? Fuck. Fuck. So let's do this. Move this back. And make a little sidewalk over here. Make a little sidewalk over here. Pit. Pit. How do I manage multiple projects without burning out? Oh, I didn't see the burning out part. I am burnt out. I'm burnt out. I feel like I've been burnt out for like 10 years. But when you learn to like ride burnout, and you don't let burnout defeat you, basically. So I've been, and you try to, I think that's the benefit of working on multiple things at the same time, is that you can go, oh, if you start to feel burnt out on one thing, you can go move over to another thing and just keep toggling back and forth, so you stay interested in everything that you're doing. Maybe that's one way that I defeat burnout, but I'm constantly like overwhelmed and burnt out all the time. And I run extremely efficiently, and I think sometimes to the detriment of like people needing my time. And sometimes I have to be a little bit cruel, because sometimes I don't think people understand how I'm operating. For example, like I've had friends, people over time I've known for years, people I consider like friends, like be like, how come you don't respond to my messages and stuff? And I'm like, they want like constant engagement, and I give them one-word answers sometimes to things, and I'm like, that's all I have, that's all the energy I have, and I'm trying to give it, you know. Because I'm trying to, like, everything is like minimum energy use, you know. I've got so much in the tank, and I'm just like trying to maximize my fuel. At the risk of spoiling a good mystery, are you willing to talk about the Green Ghost talking to John Milton, by the way? No big deal. If not, I just like overthinking things. Yeah, the Green Ghost talking to John Milton. I think what I was trying to do, because that was near the end of the book, and I was reading Paradise Lost, and I was reading about John Milton, and yeah, my friends should join the streams if they want to talk to me, for sure. I think what I was trying to do was I was trying to throw like a narrative monkey wrench into my own story. Like, I was trying to say, you know, when you've got all, especially when you're coming to the end of a story, you've got all the plot points figured out. All you gotta do is connect the dots A to B, B to C, C to D, or whatever until you get the finish line, right? But if you're just connecting plot points, it's not interesting. So-and-so has to travel here and get here and talk to so-and-so. It's like doing errands, NPC errands, or whatever, fetch quests in a video game. So if my story starts feeling like a fetch quest, I have to throw some sort of like monkey wrench in there. So the John Milton thing was me throwing a monkey wrench into the story. It adds a dimension to it that didn't exist previously. This idea of the muse. So the big green ghost is John Milton's muse. And I think I was trying to talk about, especially by the end of the book, I'm trying to talk about where ideas come from and things like that. So that's sort of what I was doing. But I was, you know, because a lot of the early story, like where I first got my ideas from, not just from my research and stuff, but just from intuitively throwing spaghetti at the wall, you know. So you can't lose, as you get closer to the end of the story, you can't lose that sort of like spitballing ideas. If you're just following a path, it's boring. Well, thanks for watching the underwear ad, because that gives me like 50 cents or something like that. At what point do the drugs come into the design process? Usually never. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Just started for 2 years. I just started for 2 years. But we're now working on multiple commissions and personal projects. My social battery drained so fast, I gave up talking to my friends online for months. Nice, thanks, Dougie. Alright, let me keep working on this. Alright, so we got the karate combat pit here. Something like this. Yes. Yeah, that's my problem with like Game of Thrones and stuff like that is around oh, thanks for the bit. Around season 3 or 4 or something like that, it just felt like they were just sailing to different locations to talk to somebody. You know, we gotta meet here and talk to this, and meet here and talk to this, and it's just like people following plot paths and doing fetch quests, and that is not fun. That is not fun. It's boring. Alright, let's see. Yeah, if it's not motivated by some sort of like, if we're not learning something about the character through their actions, then they're just like a yeah, basically they start turning into like fetch quest NPC type, you know. What's the point? What's the point of this story? Why should I give a shit? I felt like the early Game of Thrones seasons were way more like character motivated from scene to scene. It was less about traveling from place to place and fulfilling plot obligations. G'day Jesse, hope you're well, my man. Oh, what's up, Carver Void? Doing good, I'm just a little sleepy. What am I drawing? I'm adapting my comic book forming for animation. Alright. Okay, getting closer to something. Beehive style, a little bit down here in the basement. I'm trying to draw like a futuristic alien boiler room, essentially. Switchboard area where they can divert power from the local power grid to the palace. And I'm just figuring out what this location looks like. Like this. And I think this goes further down. Then this goes like this, and like this. Goes back like this, goes back like this. And maybe this. Hey, Karma Void, are you doing any animation stuff these days currently? Are you on doing a production right now? Alright, so we're gonna go here and then. Fuck, I'm so tired. I'm like passing out right now, but I gotta do it. Alright. So this, I want to make this room feel really big, so stuff will just keep back. Yes, yes. Yes. Another pit. Oops, that doesn't look right. Yes. You can hear my voice getting quiet because I'm like falling asleep. So I gotta make a switchboard somewhere where like they're gonna divert the power. Still chipping away on art directing and doing BGs for Vampire Surf Cult. Oh yeah, Vampire Surf Cult. Yeah, it's cool. Hopefully Vampire Surf Cult is keeping you alive. Where's the switchboard? Maybe the floor is the switchboard? Think about this. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, maybe down here is like these big pylon, like electricity generator things. Right? Pylon. I don't think I used the word pylon correctly just now, but... Alright, so then... And then there'd be these big... Maybe like... Vacuum... Might be able to just crawl into bed, maybe. Hey, gummy worm. What's up? Alright. And then... These things... Big, like, electrical tower kind of things. Something like that. Tank, 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 tank. Tank, tank, tank. Just like getting ideas. Something. And then maybe there's like a bunch of them. Just going back into the darkness. This basement. Huge basement. Okay. They're all connected somehow. I don't know. Something. Something like that. And then let's do a second layer. So then make this, get rid of this. That will do. there are these big. Let's see. Like, oops. I don't know if this makes sense, but you know, I can always change this in the future. Be like, this was a dumb idea. But for now, you know what? It's gonna be alright. Okay. So let me actually put this in the background layer. Alright, and then we've got these like big monster plugs. Here. Here. Going somewhere. Up into the... Maybe? Plugs? Maybe. Sometimes, you know, I don't want to come up with these ideas on stream because I'm like, that was a bad idea. Or whatever. Or sometimes, you know, design ideas in front of people maybe makes me make worse decisions or something. So that could be happening currently. But you know what? I can always change it later, so it's alright. Let's make these more like round, like... What are those gummy candies that you get at the movie theater? It's gelatinous things. Okay. Something like that. Forming is already released, yeah. How's the pre-order that you've inked different to the version that's already published? The version that's already published is only 2 volumes. The new one is 3 volumes, and the 3rd volume is the same size as the first 2 volumes. So it's 2 times the comics as the first 2 volumes. Does that make sense? So I never printed the end of the book, which is basically the last half of the book. It took me 8 years to finish. I think 8 years to finish beyond the 2nd volume. I spent another 8 years working on the book. And so that never came out. And so now it's coming out. Does that make sense? Also, I think it looks better. The print quality, I think, is better. And I also made changes to some of the earlier parts of the book. I created some continuity that wasn't there before, because reading through it, I decided I wanted to do that. And then I elaborated on a couple scenes to help like build a little bit of a more like holistic understanding of the story. Twice the performing, yeah. So, like, Uh, Here's the original forming. Let me turn my filter off here. Webcam. Okay. So here's the original. Here's the original forming, and this is how. Let me get the other one. So here's the first two volumes of forming that No Brow put out, and so that's like the first half of the book, and then I don't have my new preview copy because I sent it to us, a famous person, to promote it. I have a Juno 60. Yes, I never play it, but I do have it. Here's a volume of Berserk, and this is basically how thick the new forming is. So you can see it's about twice as thick. Word. Yeah, I need to service that Juno. It's like half the keys are. Take it to Future Music and get it serviced. Also, the print, I think the print is way more like saturated. The new one, the new book version, is like much richer in color. I think it looks really good. Yeah, Juno 60 is a fucking amazing synthesizer. Check out my room. My rat's nest. Speaking of changing ideas, I liked when you retconned Nobody as being Seth instead of an aspect of Nomo. Great way to make Seth a more interesting character. Yes. I did. I forget at what point I retconned that, but yeah. It's more interesting. Okay. Okay. So then we've got these like plugs back here. And then this animation I'm working on is like an adaptation of the book, but it's really like exploring a lot of stuff that is not in the book. I don't know why I'm finding it really easy to add all these like other scenes and things to like sort of flesh everything out. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it'll work and won't be boring. I think so far, I think I'm making something pretty good. That I think will be really fun to watch, but we'll see. Okay. So then, okay, then there'll be all these like mutant fucking basement dwelling workers down here. So they'll be wearing blast shield. Stuff, I guess. Maybe like yeah. Lots of good things take time. I don't know. Took me a long time to find the story, finish it. So these guys, I wonder what they're doing. Maybe this guy's got some remote control thing. Basically like hazmat suits. This will be like monitoring the health of the and then we'll just put a bunch of these guys down here. They're doing. Okay, this guy's like fixing one of the power lines. Beep beep. Thingy, I don't know, something. I'll figure that out later. And this guy's just, he should be doing something with his hands. So he's probably looking at his, checking something. It's like the Spectrum guys when they come to your house and they tell you what's wrong with your internet. Got these little devices. It's got like a little utility belt. It's got one too. Guys. Guys in here. Back here. All right. Okay. Something like that. So then, he's zooming down the elevator. Alright, and the elevator lands. Here. So then... does some dust flies out or something? The elevator? Okay. And then the two guys look over. Are you familiar with P. Robertson's surreal pixel art? No. No. Okay. So then... So... Let's look cleaner. Let's go. Mm. Are you familiar with Jonathan Davis's surreal new metal art? Do you consider... I mean, I guess Jonathan Davis had a H.R. Giger mic stand, right? Portions are all fucked up, but... I don't know what I consider surrealist anymore. Everything kind of gets labeled that. Yeah, because I think most, like, so much stuff is, like, surrealism is just part of popular culture. It's not really a novelty anymore. It's just part of, like, a toolkit you can use, you know? Is there anything that's, like, truly surrealist anymore? Or that anyone even clocks as being surreal? Surreal is just a, you know, it's just like a overused adjective at this point. Unfortunately. I usually only think of stuff related to Breton's manifesto as being surrealist, but that's usually not what people mean anymore. It just means weird. I don't even know if I ever read his manifesto. I just know that story of Jodorowsky going to Andre Breton's house or whatever. That's like possibly mostly not a real story. Okay. Please hold 1 second. He went to his house. Something like he had to take a shit or something like that. And then he got chased out of Andre Breton's house by a pack of dogs with his pants down or something like that. Something. That would be the sound effect, or the turning door. Put that right there. There we go. Alright. I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Pee break. I bought this book about magic, shamanism, psychotherapy, and it was super hard to read. I read his book, I read his book about all of his different gurus that he's had, and I found that book to be very inspiring. Was it? Was it? Was it this book? Spiritual Journey of Alejandro Jodorowsky, this one? Yeah. This one? Oh, it was Psychomagic? Oh yeah. I'm not super into Psychomagic stuff. This is more just like a memoir of like all his spiritual teachers and stuff, and I think this is worth reading. It talks a lot about like sort of like magic and lying and stuff like that, and surrealism and um, basically with tricks of the trade, you know. All right, I got Pete. I'm working through the Cicero GD book right now and kind of have my hands full with that, but I may check it out. I don't know the Cicero GD book. What's that? Cicero GD. Oh, Golden Dawn. Golden Dawn stuff. I've read a little bit of like Israel Regardie stuff. I don't know. Yeah, the Golden Dawn system of magic. I think you can kind of pick and cherry pick like ideas that you like out of there. I have to go soon, but you sorely need some sleep. Take some NyQuil even. Thank you. Maybe I will. I don't know if I have any. I think I have some Advil PM. That's about it. I have a hard time going to sleep. I just as soon as the world becomes quiet, I start having like all these ideas. All right, so he's gonna say, I was a bit concussed last week. It was hard to sleep. How'd you get concussed? All right. So Slave 16 here is gonna say, divert power from the slums to the palace. Southeast sector. So we're introducing Slave 16 early. In the book, he doesn't appear till like 3/4 of the way through the book, but I'm introducing these characters early. Okay, okay. Hit my head against the wall. It wasn't even that hard. Oh no. That sucks, man. I don't think I've ever felt concussed before. I know my friend Toby got concussed. And that shit was fucked him up for like 2 weeks. I haven't read Forming, but I really like Jesus 2 and Midnight Gospel. Was this an animated adaptation of Forming? Yes. I'm trying to make a pilot right now. Or like, basically we broke up the story of Forming into about an 8-episode outline, and so I'm storyboarding the first episode. 8 22-minute episodes. And we're gonna try to find financing. Not even when you fell off that bridge with the guard. Yeah, I didn't get concussed from that. So I fell off a bridge. Thanks for remembering. Oh, Cheng. Yeah, when I was like 21, I was climbing under a bridge and I slipped and fell. And fell, I don't know, probably fell somewhere, maybe like 20 feet, something like that. And landed on my head on a boulder, on a rock in a river. And just my brother was there and my friend Sharif was there, and they described it as a fountain of blood spewing out of my head. And I was like woozy, but I didn't get concussed. Like I'd say like concussion, you're like having headaches and you're like in and out and you get like memory loss and shit like that. Yeah, I didn't have any of that. Just had to get some stitches. Imagine that the concussion is what knocked loose all of your incredible internal worlds. Origin story unlocked. Oh yeah, but I was already making stuff. I've always been making stuff since I was a wee lad. People already thought I was on drugs back then. Okay. So he's gonna say something about diverting the power. Drugs got high off just, yeah. I was like a straight edge kid my whole teenage life. Is this the Miss Cleo Psychic Friends Network? I'm calling in about the man I'm in love with and if he will really leave his wife. It can be the Psychic Friends Network. I do 2-hour readings on here if people want. But I gotta know if you have a real question. Is this a, yeah, you got a real question? Okay. What's up, fantasy animal vegan? Oh, no real question. Okay. It's going good, going good. Just storyboarding. Okay, so then I'll figure out this dialogue later. CF was straight edge for a while. Yeah, I didn't want to... Once I realized I was a creative artist person, I didn't want anyone to think my ideas were coming from taking drugs, so I just didn't do drugs for... I didn't do any drugs at all until... I think I had alcohol once when I was 21. I didn't do any drugs until I was like 30. Yeah, because I didn't want anyone to think it wasn't coming from me. That's how much of a control freak I am. Okay. Right, so then he goes back to his pose, and then... Come on. Alright, then these guys... Do some sort of like remote control thing. I don't know if this will end up being my final idea about this, but then... Alright, this guy will do. It's gonna look up too. Roller thing. I like when someone asked him if he did drugs to come up with Power Masters, and he said absolutely zero. When did he say that? Yeah, I didn't do any drugs to come up with any ideas for forming. Well, that's not totally true. I think I had one major drug experience when I was 30, and that sort of changed the course of my life, so it affected my art for sure. who is my main influence growing up and developing this style? It was when he was doing the book tour with Brian Chippendale and Oof and Power Masters. Oh, I probably saw him on that book tour at Family Bookstore. I remember asking him an awkward question because I was like sort of a little bit frustrated with his lack of coherent storytelling and structure. Who is your influence growing up developing the style? I mean, my early influences were like X-Men comics, Arthur Adams, you know, Simon Beasley and stuff like that, and heavy metal comics, and then people like Peter Bagg and Robert Crumb and the Ninja Turtles, the old Underground Ninja Turtles comics, Dave Sim, Cerebus, and then the sort of like noise music and art scene that happened in the early 2000s, Matt Brinkman and stuff like that. And then Liquid Television, Christy Caracas. And then later on, I would say, well, Fist of the North Star. And then all the like 90s underground humor comics and autobio comics I was reading. And even like Jeffrey Brown. And then working on Adventure Time influenced me a lot also. Fist of the North Star is like a guiding light for me throughout my life. Just like the basic fundamental idea of the power of spirit overcoming the sort of flesh. That's like my basic thesis of all my stories. It's all just like influenced by Fist of the North Star. Pretty much. The Odyssey, I really think the new Odyssey movie, the depiction of Agamemnon felt like it was directly inspired by Fist of the North Star of the character of Rao. It just felt like, I was like, oh my god, he's just like aura farming the way Rao did in Fist of the North Star. And the design, his design felt like really similar, his costume design. I didn't know even where to talk about that, but this is the first time I brought this up. I really think he was checking out Fist of the North. Whoever was I actually know the art designer. What do you call this? The costume designer on the Odyssey. Ruth De Jong. She was like the set designer. She's my friend Pete's older sister. Just like by weird coincidence. She also worked on the third season of Twin Peaks. She was like the art director She's like a very successful Hollywood designer. I actually have only met her once, I think. I know Pete really well, but the times I've gone to Pete's house, I haven't seen Ruth. She's just the sister he talks about. Okay, yeah, but I think I've met her one time maybe. All right, so okay, these plugs come out. Oops. I can't remember the soundtrack for the Odyssey. I just remember that movie was loud as fuck. I really enjoyed it though. I thought it was fun, really fun. So, you know, Harmony Korine was definitely thinking of Fizz on the Shore when he made Aggro Drift. I don't know if I'll ever see Aggro Drift. Is there anyone you want to read tarot for? Only if someone wants me to. Alright. I don't like go out of my way to do tarot readings for people unless they want one. Alright, so then this will pop out. I don't know if I'm spending too much time on this. This is like, you know what I mean? Like, do I need to show this whole process? Maybe. I think you'd like the boss fight in Aggro Drift. Oh, I didn't know there were boss fight. I know I was. Aggro Drift is like sort of like him riffing on the idea of like first person shooters, right? Is that what it is? Oh, that's Baby Invasion. Okay. Up. Again, and then he'll pass this over. This way. Here. Am I looking forward to anything soon? Oh, you DM'd me the best scene, so you don't have to watch the whole movie. Okay, cool, thanks. I think I might be subconsciously riffing on data center stuff, to be honest. Are you looking forward to anything soon? I'm looking forward to... I am looking forward to the new game from the creator of Shadow of Colossus that should be coming out soon. I'm looking forward to Soulframe. I kind of want to play that game by the makers of Warframe. I'm gonna download the demo of Mortal Shell tonight. Maybe in like an hour. Try playing that. Anything else I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to my book tour in September. I'm looking forward to finishing this storyboard. Hopefully by the end of the month. I'm looking forward to seeing my family in September. Is that what you're asking, or are you talking about media? I'm looking forward to... I can't say there's any movies I'm really looking forward to. Or shows. I kind of want to check out the new Ghost in the Shell show. Maybe. Since it's a Science Saru show. I meant in the immediate terms of what you'll be doing with your life, but this is cool too. Oh, doing with my life? This is all I do with my life. I just draw. I draw, I try to make time to read, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I feed my cat. New game from Team Ico, yes. There's a new game. We could watch the trailer for it. Let's see. Oh man, I hate to ask YouTube. It like totally, when you go in the search bar on YouTube, it totally like creates a weird user interface crunch that's so annoying, and I can't believe YouTube allows this to happen. If you see me trying to search, look at that. Look what happens there. Oops. Look what happens there. Isn't that insane? I noticed in some of your work, like Manly, most recently Jesus 2, that your main characters have activate have to activate certain devices by either stabbing themselves or getting ripped apart. Why is that? That is I was just talking about my Fist of the North Star influence, and that's probably where that comes from. Just like the idea of your internal spirit being stronger than your physical flesh. So it's also like influenced by Japanese, like Budo code, samurai code, Mishima influence. Yeah, that's probably where that comes from. I just like the idea of the body being temporary, the spirit being eternal, or the soul being eternal, and the like strength of your inner power, your chi or your vril being able to like override the like consensus reality of material universe. I think that might answer your question. Team Ico. Gen Atlas, that's the name of it. Well, I think the body is where we prove what we're made of, you know? The body is like the mechanism in which we prove the power of our spirit. Word. I'm excited for this game. I'm not really excited about 2-note melodies, but I can forgive them for that. Bum bum. Yeah, hopefully if they add a little bit more like stakes to the gameplay, I think they'd really be, because the, what do you call it, the bird one, the griffin dog, is that one called Last Guardian? It was like you couldn't lose, that was my only problem with the game, is like you couldn't lose. So it ends up being sort of just like a walking simulator a little bit, and it would be cool if there were like more life and death style stakes to it. I mean, that's why Shadow of Colossus is so great. because you could lose, you know. But also Ico was amazing also. So Ico, you know, Last Guardian, I liked it, but it felt a little bit like safe to me. Like if you fell off a cliff or something, nothing would happen. Um, do you think you'll see Repin's new movie? I've definitely seen trailers for it all over the place. And I'm sure there's things about it I would like. I think he's gotten, I don't know what has gotten into him, but he's gotten into this like fashion model, perfume commercial kind of thing. And I don't know. I think the trailer looks cool. The trailer looks cool. I like that. I like the girl's dad is named like, he's got some weird sort of symbolic name. I don't know. I didn't see Neon Demon, so basically it's like a Yakuza fashion slasher film, and I'm not trying to. I don't like horror slasher stuff. So I think Nicholas Winding Refn has kind of lost me at this point. I respect the. I respect the. I respect that he's doing his thing, you know. And I wish I could stomach it more, but I think he's got these tendencies that I don't enjoy. I just don't like the gratuitous, like, slasher violence stuff. I have a really hard time with that. Such a weird thing for me to say, because I draw my own very violent stuff, but... Never thought of that way. I keep forgetting that I'm only confined to this mere vessel in our physical world. Confined, yeah. I think of soul, spirit, and body as three distinct things. Yeah, but they're all, you know, tied together. Can't have one without the other. On this world, in this world. Maybe it's to contrast all the perfume stuff. For sure, I get what he's doing. I get why he has the instinct, you know, but... Maybe if I was a famous director, I would want to just cast all these statuesque, beautiful models and have them standing around in slow motion. And then like a greaser Yakuza guy walking around freaking slashing people up. I don't know. Maybe I would have the same instincts. I don't know. Someone would really have to talk me into watching that movie. Unfortunately. Because I think there's probably cool stuff in it. Alright, he passes the plug. all this stuff on so many different layers. Alright. This goes up. Alright. And then he reaches out. Let's see. Oops. Oh yeah, the other day I saw that McDonald's commercial you worked on, Out in the Wild. Oh, nice. Glad you saw it. Saw my three backgrounds I painted for it. I heard Refn had a near-death experience a few years ago. Can't imagine what that must have been like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Alright. So... I wonder if that affected... I wonder if that has anything to do with this movie. Trying to describe it as his megalopolis. There's no way it's his megalopolis. It's too like stoic to be megalopolis. Megalopolis has so much going on that's mostly pure shit. Like, Megalopolis is like a non-stop flood of half-baked ideas. Alright, so then he guides this plug into the plug. Time stop, yeah. At the 2026 Cannes Film Festival, Refn revealed he temporarily died for 25 minutes and was brought back to life in 2023, saying, "That changes you. When I was brought back by electricity. Now that I'm alive again, I only have 25 years left of my life to live, but I'm going to make damn use of that. Live life to the fullest." Okay. Well, nobody liked his new movie, but maybe that's him living his life, making the thing he actually really wanted to make. That's like not commercially appreciative, you know? So I respect it. I respect it. But that doesn't mean I want to watch it, because his instincts are just like, I find upsetting, personally. Okay. And like Neon Demon is like, I'm like totally afraid to ever watch that movie. It's like about models like eating each other, right? Or something. I don't want to see that shit. That's good enough. All right. And then I'm gonna have to do a little camera move, but 2 camera moves, but then is that what the movie The Menu is about also? Is that about like rich people eating people or something like that? There's nothing in that movie. There's only one scene I don't think you really see them eat the model, but you see one walking towards the sun eating an eye. Oh, okay. Then what happens in that movie? It's just a bunch of hot girls standing around being like mean to each other. Did I see the thing about Netflix using Gen AI for like 300 shows this year? Yeah, I did see that, but I think it's a misleading. I think it's a misleading title, misleading article title. When they say using Gen AI, like they're probably using it. They're not using it to actually animate. I really doubt that. It's probably on the corporate side, sending people like Gen AI fucking dumb ideas, being like, change it to this or whatever. I mean, working on that McDonald's commercial I worked on recently, I really learned like how advertising companies like to use Gen AI. They just send you fucking. They don't know how to draw, so they send you the. Now they're like, oh, I can do it. I can draw now. They send you concept art that has nothing to do with their like design principles that they want you to follow. It's just dumb ways that people think they're saving money and time, and eventually within 3 years, none of this shit is going to be happening anymore. So when they say that, that's just a way for, because they bought into, like, all these companies have bought into the AI investment, you know, like these companies are subsidizing them to use their stuff, so they're trying to say we're using it basically, but no one's using it. Like I don't see it happening. Like it's not. It's fake. It's fake. Fucking like PR bullshit. It's not like the only thing that's really happening is that people at the top think they're saving money, so they fire people, thinking that they can replace them with like efficiencies, and then you know a year later they realize that they were wrong, and then they end up like either hiring those people back or hiring remote workers that they can pay less, essentially. But it's never actually AI. Like the AI shit is like cool. It can take notes. It can take generalized notes at your Zoom meeting, in your Zoom meeting. That's what they're using AI for. And then they're like, oh, we're using AI at Netflix. Cool, you had an AI taking general, somewhat inaccurate notes of your Zoom meetings. Nice. No one's actually like, no one's actually generating AI BG paintings on their like high-end animated shows. You know? It's because it generates out as a flat image. Like you can't go in and edit that stuff. Like this commercial I worked on. Okay, here's an example. The commercial I worked on. I worked with like 3 huge ad agencies to make this McDonald's commercial. And they were like, use this space background. Okay? Because this is the same space background that we're using in all our IP, like, related, like, content. So it was a blue space background with stars on it, super generic looking. And they were like, you have to use this in every shot. And we're making like 3D environments that need a full wraparound in space environment with parallaxing stars. But all they sent was like a high-res fucking JPEG. And then we were like, okay, but if you want us to parallax the stars and like add effects to them so they could sparkle and stuff, we need everything on separate layers. Where's your in-house designer that made this background? Nowhere to be found. This designer did not exist. I'm pretty sure they made this image with AI. So we had to remake that background with our design team, repaint it, put it on layers so it could parallax, all this kind of stuff. So the people who aren't artists don't fucking understand how production works. And at some point, someone's going to have to redo anything that gets made by AI. So they're just wasting resources doing this shit. And I get why, like, someone who can't draw, can't paint, would want to try to communicate through this, like, prompt technology. So when we would get those images from them, be like, do something like this, like, I just was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna do what actually what I feel like doing, and I get the spirit of what you're trying to say because you don't even know how to communicate visually. You don't even really understand what the color purple is, you know. So because there was a whole thing about don't use purple, and then all the AI examples they would send me were purple. You know, and I'm like, okay, so you don't even understand like color, or how to communicate like through color or anything like that. So I just had to take the spirit of what they were saying, because they were like business people who don't draw, don't paint, and give them something back that would like surprise them and be novel and something they couldn't think of because they can't, you know. So that's how you navigate the whole AI thing. And at Netflix, like, that's just fear mongering. Like, the more fear that they can put into the public, the more their stock prices go up, because that's like a strategy. It's a PR strategy, is to like create doomer headlines that helps like the people at the top think that they're actually like people are expendable, you know. It comes out as like a horror headline, but it's actually meant to like bring in investors who like want to get rid of people, you know what I'm saying? Because the more people you can fire, the more profitable your company is, at least like short term. But none of the shit fucking works. Like, it's not, I mean, it works, but it like works fucking, it half works. It's not. I mean, I can argue with producers about this all day, but I haven't seen anything yet. And I've had people walk me through really detailed AI pipelines, and I've been like, this isn't acceptable. This isn't good yet. And if you think this is acceptable, you're like ruining your company. But I think all this stuff will sort itself out, and within, I don't know, I think within 3 to 5 years, it'll all sort itself out. I think all these companies are going to go out of business. That's my hope and belief. We'll see if I'm wrong. So, yeah, fear is being used. Fear is being used as a marketing tool. That's why you have all these guys like Sam Altman coming out and like Elon Musk. I mean, they've been doing it for years, being like, "Oh, it's like a Terminator future." Blah blah blah. They want you to think that because then, like, um, then the fucking super greedy CEOs like all come in their pants, and then they invest in their company, and governments give them subsidies and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think the AI bubble is about to. I mean, you know, there's a whole like, there's a whole thing like some of these companies are so subsidized that it might take a while for them for the like they're gonna pull from every resource possible to keep their businesses alive, but all this stuff like um you know, the Amazon AI animation program and all this kind of stuff, like none of it is gonna like like I think some aspects of the Gen AI stuff will be used in production, but it's going to be like very, very specialized. And it's going to be used by corpos to like send you their ideas, basically. That's like how it's being used now, and I think that's about as much as it's going to be used. Everything else is just unusable tech demo bullshit. It's all tech demo shit. None of it can be like actually used in shows. You get like, oh, you get like Darren Aronofsky's fucking Civil War bullshit. I don't even know. I don't know why he. Like, someone must have paid him a lot of money to embarrass him, publicly embarrass himself, like humiliation ritual kind of shit. Why do you subsidize these nuts? Oh. I can't wait for the AI bubble to burst. His corporate death call. It is a corporate death call. I don't understand what, like, I mean, those guys, it's one of those things. It's like the dudes at the top, everyone's getting paid. They're spending more money than they're making. It doesn't matter because they're all gonna, like, have golden parachutes. And they just, like, it's a huge, like, you know, decade-long rug pull, basically. In my opinion, I have friends who think differently and have totally drank the Kool-Aid on AI shit. And I just have to be like, I guess we'll just see how it plays out, because you're still not actually making AI cartoons. Like again, it's never gonna happen. I really think when the next by the time the next generation, like by the time the next generation of fucking video game consoles come out and they're all like $1,500 and no one buys them, hope please God don't be that stupid. No one buys the next generation of like PCs or Macs because, well, maybe not Macs because they've got their own chip thing going on, but AI is like 60% of the stock market. As soon as it bursts, shit's going to get interesting. Like .com bubble on steroids. Yeah. That's the thing, like the AI thing is the only thing the US has going as far as I understand, as far as like the world economy goes, and if the bubble bursts on it, we're really fucked, actually. I gotta move to I gotta move to somewhere, some other country. That one guy was getting all this negative comments for wanting them to lift the AI ban in manga. I don't know. None of it's exciting. It's all just fucking depressing. That's how you know, like, nobody really wants it. The only people that want it are people who can't, are like artistically skillless, but have dreams of making things, you know? And I've had people like talk my ear off about like why it's good for independent creators and stuff like that, but just make lower budget shit, man. You don't, like, we don't need to be, nobody actually needs to make, to be honest, like, we don't need the Spider-Verse, you know? Like, we don't need these, like, I really don't think we need, like, if budgets for like $200 million animated films disappear, I'm totally fine with that. Like, what if like the limit on animated feature budgets was like 20 million instead of 150 to 200 million? I think I think animated features would be way more charming and interesting. I don't need $200 million animated feature films. I could go the rest of my life without seeing a single one again. If someone wants to pay me whatever, $10 million to make a $200 million feature film, I'm not saying no. But as an audience, as a person who's like a consumer of animated media, I don't need to see that. I don't need Spider-Verse. I don't need K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't need Elio. I don't need Frozen. I don't need whatever, you know? There's nothing like wrong with those things. Like, they're fine. I enjoyed K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought it was good, actually. I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is, like, I don't need it. Like, I'll take Nick DiLiberto's Nova Seed, Empress of Darkness, over K-pop Demon Hunters any day. Even though K-pop Demon Hunters is like a better movie than Empress of Darkness. But I would rather have Empress of Darkness exist in the world than K-pop Demon Hunters. Does that make sense? And he made Empress of Darkness by himself for no money, just to live and pay rent. I'm saying, like, okay, let me be a little bit clearer about what I'm thinking. It's like, I'm glad that currently there is a world in which there are these huge budgets available for animated features. Like, I'm not against that. I'm not against $200 million animated features, like Wreck-It Ralph or whatever. How much did that cost? Like $100 million or whatever. I'm not against that being a thing. I'm just saying, if it comes down to it, being like, we can't make these things anymore without using AI or whatever because of our own self-destructive world economical choices. You know, like it's like a snake eating its own tail kind of thing. If they're like, we can't make these without using AI, we can't, generative AI, we can't make $150 million movies blockbusters anymore. I'd be like, fine, I don't give a shit. Who cares? Let's make a bunch of 10 million, $5 million feature films instead. Let's do that. And the stakes are lower, and then like artistic risk can be higher. And yeah, I'm totally fine with the reality of like tentpole animation disappearing from the world. I'm totally fine with that. And I think I honestly think audiences are drifting away from tentpole animation stuff in general anyway, and they're more interested in things happening on YouTube, basically. Anyhow, I think trust in institutional entertainment is like basically mostly down the toilet, but every once in a while, you know, like the new Spider-Man, it's like doing gangbusters. So that kind of like throws a wrench in the theory a little bit. So I don't know what it is. It's like an unpredictable thing, but it seems like for the most part, people like more like grounded, relatable, low budget content. Yeah, Backrooms, all the stuff that's happening in horror. Amazing Digital Circus. I think we got to stop wanting to see like a huge institutional representation. Honestly, Ninetales. Like, who gives a shit about? I don't like who gives a shit about institutional anything. Why should I care if like I feel represented by Pepsi or Coke or like any of these like large institutional institutions? We should have like abandoned all these things like long ago and just like gone back to making like more I don't know, pocket cultural art. What am I trying to say? Niche audience, niche creative work for pockets of like interested communities. I just want house money. I mean, okay, I mean, I understand that. I want house money too. Who doesn't want house money? But it's like, I think there's just a different way. You know, all this stuff has been like gate kept, you know, and for as long as the entertainment industry's been around. But now we're finally reaching the point where the gatekeeping like isn't powerful anymore, really. They're all afraid of making new shit, and actually what has become powerful is making your own shit and doing it at scale to whatever to whatever means you have, and it doesn't even matter as long as you can find a way to resonate with people. So there is like cool stuff everywhere. I think there's more cool stuff now than there ever maybe has been, except it's just not coming from big institutions. Yeah, it's all low budget stuff, I think. It's like going back to the time when in Hollywood, when, you know, like the Easy Rider days. I mean, those movies are extremely, I forget what the budget of Easy Rider was, but it's like super low budget. And like culturally powerful, you know, even though I don't think Easy Rider is a good movie actually, but culturally important. And stuff like Billy Jack, and even though like black exploitation movies like Dolomite and super low budget movies that had like lasting cultural impact. Yeah, Dennis Hopper was an established actor, but I could get established actors to do stuff in my low budget animations. Like actors just want to act, so that's not the hard part. You know, Dash Shaw's been making super low budget feature films. The budgets on his movies are like very low. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say how much the budget for his films are, but extremely low, and he gets like A-list actors to voice them. So big famous actors usually, like, honestly, surprisingly, are easily accessible to low budget animation because they just want to do cool shit. I mean, if they're an actor, they want to act. So I find that I have access to high profile actors. That's like not the hard part. If you've got a cool thing you're making, a lot of times really big actors want to be part of it. Yeah, but I think the new model of making stuff is just working to within your means, and making stuff within your means. And just figuring out what the limitations of what you're working on are, and then just making the best thing you can make within those limitations, and then that forces you to be creative and take risks, and because there's not much to lose, you just like make shit that you think is cool, and I think you have a higher chance of resonating with people because you're not being committed, you know. I actually said if I had the tools available you guys have already, I'd lock myself in the garage with a couple of buddies and bang out films. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just take the Bakshi model, which isn't perfect, but you take the Bakshi model. If more people if more people had the Bakshi mindset, you know, it's all the tools are available. I can't believe what Bakshi got. I mean, he definitely like exploited people for sure. He fucking abused workers and stuff, but you know, the shit is way easier to make animated features than the time that during the Bakshi's run. I like making stuff, but $400 Canadian for 2 months of animation is not livable for me right now. Yeah, but then you just like work a part-time job. You work a job on the side that pays your rent, and then you work on your film, you work on your independent film at night. I think the media environment currently is much easier than Bakshi's time. There's more opportunity now than there's ever been to reach an audience. Way, way, way more than Bakshi. How did you get a job working on a McDonald's commercial? And where can I find it? It's like on cable, airings on TV. It's not on the internet. The McDonald's commercial I worked on. Yeah, it's less coherent, but that's good. If it was easier, there would have been... If it was easier back then and more straightforward back then, there would have been more Bakshis. There was only one Bakshi doing what he did. There was like Don Bluth, like started his own company, but he wasn't... I don't know. It was like Don Bluth and Ralph Bakshi. And I think the coherent thing is sorting itself out. We're just like weaning ourselves off of institutional money and institutional clout. I think institutional clout has all but disappeared. I saw the McDonald's commercial as an ad on YouTube video. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, but you can't find the ad by itself. Like, if you search for it, you can't... I tried searching for it and couldn't find it on the internet. I got that job because one of the ad agencies were fans of Midnight Gospel, and they wanted the Midnight Gospel art director, so they reached out to me. Big fan of your work, especially Midnight Gospel. IIRC, you guys had been expecting a season 2 at one point, right? Was there work that had to be thrown out as a result of that not coming? We weren't expecting a season 2. Duncan and I tried to pitch a season 2 after they reached out to Duncan saying they were interested in doing a season 2 like 4 years later. So Duncan and I made a storyboard and an animatic, and it was like about 4 minutes long, and Duncan pitched it to Netflix. So Netflix wanted to do a season 2, theoretically, but what Duncan told me was that Netflix wanted the episodes to be 7 minutes long each, and Duncan didn't think it was possible to tell the right kind of story in 7 minutes. And I agree with him. So it just was a no-go. I don't know why they decided the 7-minute thing. It's a mystery to me. They must have been basing that off of some weird algorithmic data they were getting from the demon in their basement. But it is what it is. I forget what IIRC means. Interesting recall combiner. If I recall correctly. Okay, yeah. People overuse that word, but I seriously mean a masterpiece. One guy messing with a GTA and made a mess. I have a relief work position set up for me in a couple weeks. I still have to let the broadcasting center know that I won't be able to do the same amount of work I put in these past 2 months and probably need a longer timeline until my student loans are paid off. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but you know, you have that experience that you can put on your resume and use in your animation reel or whatever, and then while you're working at the relief center, you can be working on your own make your own independent stuff on the side. You know, you can always be making art on the side. So I think relying on like institutional, I keep saying institutional, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to be the next Bakshi. Sort of. I think it might be too late for me to be the next Bakshi, but I'm trying to at least get some independent stuff out of my, you know, out into the world as much as I can before I croak. Before I kick the bucket. Alright, so he's passing this plug. Alright, and then power turns back on. You know, you have a guy like Nick Cross, who's like a super talented animator, and he works as an art director a lot of the time on shows and stuff, but he's been making his own feature film like 1 minute at a time and posting it on TikTok in his after hours. So you just have to have the drive, the desire to do it regardless of like whatever your financial and work situation is. You just have to be willing to stay up and go and do it. Yeah, I've drawn in the office a lot. I tried to be low effort at that job. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was before I got hired on Adventure Time, I was working as a for like 3 years. I was working as a standardized patient. It's basically a job where you're in a medical robe for 8 hours and you get like probed by doctors and you pretend to be sick. I had to pretend I had Crohn's disease 8 hours a day, and then in between my doctor visits, I had my pad. I had my like comics pages, and I would be drawing comics in between doctor visits. So I would have like 15 minutes between student doctor visits, and I would just be working on forming between doctors at my job. And then some days you would come in as a standby in case something went wrong with one of the patients, and then I would just be working on my comics at my job all day. And my supervisors fucking hated it. They were like upset that I was taking advantage of the time, you know. But I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, dude, fucking, you just want me to sit here in silence and not move and just like look at my phone when I could be making comics? Get fucked, you know. Yeah, they would. But you do stuff like that, and people sometimes, like managers can get weirded out by it because they think you're like scamming them or something, or I don't know. Like, I've had friends who were security guards at apartments, you know, the guy that sits at the desk, and they just draw comics at the desk. Um, so you figure out like what job, you know, how you can make it work at whatever job you're at. I mean, obviously, if you're like a plumber, you can't you can't draw at the same time fixing a toilet, you know. So you have to go home and draw, but you get what I'm saying. And there are jobs that are like super emotionally exhausting, and for some people, all they can do is go home and fall asleep. And I get that. But how bad do you want it, you know? Right? Can't draw as well as I wish I could, and just make do with that, what I can. Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I don't even think like drawing that good it even matters. I finally played Hollow Knight and Silksong after hearing all the hype, and saying that a small dev team can run circles around major studios. Yeah, I love. I mean, Hollow Knight, especially for me, Hollow Knight is just like a all-time masterpiece. Silksong, maybe less so. I had some problems with Silksong, but I still loved it. I still loved Silksong. But I think Silksong had a little bit of sequelitis, a little bit, but it's still great. Yeah, and it's proof that small low budget productions can make amazing, some of the best shit. I'd rather have Hollow Knight than Call of Duty, yeah, any day, for sure. Does that make sense? I'd rather have Hollow Knight than like whatever, Apex Legends or whatever. If an OG like Bakshi is saying, "Dog, you got it made, but you just need to lock it in," it's going to be hard. But anything worth having is hard. I just wish Zelda games were made 2D in similar vein, either top-down or side-scrolling. Yeah, I mean, I really loved Breath of the Wild. I do think like Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest open world games ever made. Um, at least my memory of playing it felt that way. The exploration was so sick. Um, but yeah, as far as like a immersive experience goes, Hollow Knight is equal equal or better. Lock in and make Cool World. I mean, Cool World highly underrated. Opinion. I love Cool World. I like when you said how even work you did on Adventure Time, you were aspiring for something the level of Angel's Egg, even though the episode didn't resemble it. I could still sense that even before you said it. What, with you forgot your floaties or something? I can't remember some of the shit I say, but I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I love Angel's Egg. If you forgot your floaties, yeah, I can totally see that. Sometimes I say shit, people tell me I've said some shit I've said, and I'm like, I don't remember it. I don't remember saying that. But, yeah. That happens to me a lot. Alright, so then we gotta light up the room. So we're gonna go and do this and this. Okay. Did I ever meet Tom Kenny? Yes, I've met Tom Kenny several times. He's a very nice guy. Super nice guy. Very professional. He would always come into the room super prepared and knew the storyboards, knew the script. Yeah, awesome dude, Tom Kenny. I met his son too. I like his son was an intern on Midnight Gospel. I don't know if his son remembers me, but I remember at the end of Midnight Gospel production, me and Penn gave his son like a review, sort of like a philosophical advice or something about art, about making art. Happened you were talking about, you forgot your floaties that time because I said you had previously said you were thinking of Tarkovsky and Cocteau, and you said, I don't remember saying that. I don't really like Tarkovsky. I didn't know why I would say that. Yeah, that sounds like something I would say. I saw Tom Kenny on the street like 2 weeks ago in my neighborhood. He was heading somewhere fast, so I didn't stop him to bother him. But I saw him on the street randomly. Oh, my cat's meowing. What's up, buddy? Hi. What? What's up? What's up, my guy? What's up, my guy? Hi. I was thinking about asking Tom Kenny to, what was I thinking about asking him to do? I was thinking about asking him to... What was I thinking about asking him to do? Got too many things on my... This is how burnt out I am. I fucking... The RAM in my brain is just like... I wanted him to read something for me and do lots of different voices. I was trying to think of someone who could do tons of different voices. Yeah, definitely to do a voice, but I don't know for what. I don't really have I don't have like a contact for... I could find a contact for Tom Kenny, but... What would it be for? It's not... I don't think it's for this. Fuck, I don't know. Oh well. Maybe I just had a dream, or I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I love Tom Kenny. He's awesome. Awesome dude. Oh, I know. I remember. Okay, so what I was gonna do is turn forming into a motion comic to like build up awareness for the story online, as I'm trying to make this cartoon. And I was gonna divide the comic up into little like bite-sized chapters for like TikTok and Instagram reels and have someone narrate it. And I was thinking about asking Tom Kenny to narrate the whole thing. But I think probably that would cost a lot of money. You know? It would probably take several hours, maybe like days, for him to narrate the whole book. So I don't know. That was like a fantasy I had in my mind. Alright, so here. Alright, so when the electricity happens, it gets really kind of fast. Okay, let's see again. Am I doing call-ins tonight? Yeah, I could do a call-in. How do you work with voice actors that are SAG affiliated? You can kind of... Actually, you know, like, I don't understand how that works. I don't really understand how it works. I've worked with SAG actors on non-SAG stuff. I don't know. I don't know how it... I don't know why it works sometimes and why it doesn't work sometimes. I'm not sure. can jump on Discord if you want to call in Pressure Matt. Let me see here. Where's the call in? On my own server. Twitch chat. I'm in the Twitch chat if you want to call in Pressure Matt. I think Max Adams' project got completely ruined because of SAG. I've heard about this, but I don't... Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I think if the... I've asked people about this. I've asked producers about this, like how it works and like how to not get in trouble and all that kind of stuff, but I like don't really understand it.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hey.
Hello, hello.
What's going on? Let me put you on camera here. There you go.
Ooh, on camera.
Raise your voice a little bit. Here we go.
Got you.
Gotcha. Okay. What's up, man?
Good, good. I've
Welcome.
been chilling.
Welcome to
Having
the
a
show.
good time. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I lost today. In, the weekly or the monthly, reward.
Oh, for me to make a drawing for you on and send it to you in the mail.
Right, exactly. I was so close too, so
Oh,
close.
okay. For people who don't know, once a month the mod on Discord, Bubblegum, hosts a competition so people will win a drawing that I sent to them in the mail. And then I make a drawing like once every 4 months or whatever and send it to all the people I owe drawings to. But yeah, sorry you didn't win, man.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Just to be in the fight.
Yeah.
I've been fighting for my life for about
Oh yeah, you still
half
have
a year now.
Oh, you haven't won any. Yeah, there's some repeat winners.
Yeah, there is.
I don't know what that's all about, but it is what it is, man. I got to keep it honest. The RNG.
There might be a little
Some insider baseball going on.
I don't know. You tell me.
Some payola going on.
Yeah, some like cash money.
Yeah, maybe. They'd have to pay me a lot to cheat on a Discord game to send them
I know, right?
a drawing I do on copy paper.
Hey, yo, listen, I'll give you $25 if you cheat.
Yeah, $25 wouldn't cut it. That would be weird if we were
No, I'm joking.
$26. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe back before I worked on Adventure Time, I used to do drawings for people through my web, like on like art commissions or whatever. And I think I charged $50 per commission or something like that. So that's like, I don't know, at this point, like 17 years ago or something like that. So it'd have to be way more than that. I don't know what I don't know what my rates are because everyone's poor now too. Like, you know what I mean? The economy's bad.
Yes, recession.
So I can't ask. It's like I should professionally ask for more money at this point, but nobody has money. So it's a It's a conundrum.
How much would you charge for a personal piece?
For a sketch,
Realistically.
for the things that I send in the mail to people on Xerox paper.
Yeah, that.
I think
Exactly that.
I think for me the value of those, like if I were to sell them, I don't know, $50 probably, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's one of those things.
People
It's
are
like
dead
it's
to
all
steal.
um yeah, $50 like that. How much do you charge someone for a caricature on the boardwalk? How much do those guys charge?
Oh, those guys, like, I can't even say the boardwalk, but I can say New York City, like walking around New York City.
Yeah,
They charge about like $15, $20
$20. Okay,
for a caricature.
for an airbrush
Yeah.
caricature for a Sharpie caricature with
Yeah.
some color. Do they color those in?
Yeah, if you wanted to color it in, maybe like a little more, but
Like
still like
30,
around
30 $40?
15 to, yeah, or around 30, maybe even less,
Okay.
depending on where you go.
Um yeah, for me that would be like $50 for a full color sketch. Yeah, $50.
That makes sense. I've seen your sketches, like they're top notch.
Thanks. I do
Beautiful.
airbrush, so I feel like
Yeah.
makes it special. Um, but if I were at a convention and they just had markers or something,
Mm.
sketch. I mean, I would do black and white sketches. I'd do for free. But if you wanted me to do like a full color thing, I would probably charge money.
You would do a black and white sketch for free at a convention?
Yeah, that's what I've done typically. People ask for drawings and I just do it. Like, why would I charge money for a black and white drawing?
I guess it depends on what convention you're at, because if you were like at New York Comic Con or
Yeah.
big convention like that,
I
you better
think
charge.
if I was in an artist alley at New York Comic Con, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone would give a shit that I was
No,
there.
they would give a shit.
I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't
you're
have that. I don't have all those like things, the booth setups. They have those like fancy.
nah,
You gotta have those like tapestries and stuff.
but you're underestimating like your love with the people, I think. Because
I don't know,
I go to
man.
these cons. I go to these cons, so I know
Yeah,
what they're looking for, and
they're looking for
definitely
like
like
superhero shit. I think.
they're looking for not just superhero. Anime is a big thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I don't
Obviously,
do
anime.
that. I don't do
No,
anime.
you don't do anime,
Yeah.
but you're on like one of the biggest shows of like the past like 20, 40 years, like
Yeah.
in terms of cartoons. I mean, Adventure Time is big,
Yeah.
huge. Cartoon Network. If you told people, hey, listen, I'm on Adventure Time, I was on Adventure Time, and I
Yeah.
was on, Midnight Gospel XYZ,
Uh-huh.
and you told them you would make him a sketch. I mean, I've been to these cons.
Yeah.
There are people that are less popular than you that
Hmm.
make money in Artist Alley,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to downgrade them,
Yeah.
but
I get depressed when I go through Artist Alley, man. I'm like,
there's a lot of
this hustle
yeah,
is bumming me out.
failure. It is a hustle.
I mean, I've gone to Artist Alleys looking for some artists, don't get me wrong, like, like maybe I could
Yeah.
get an Arthur Adams sketch. Maybe I could get a Jeff Darrow sketch, But
There, you have a name, you have a voice. I guarantee you, like at a big Comic Con,
mhm.
at a big convention, like you would definitely do well. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Every time I go on art Twitter, I get depressed instantly.
With all these people.
I don't know what art Twitter is. But when I go to Artist Alley, like most of the artists I see at Artist Alley are making shit that I have zero interest in. So I just figure that culture is sort of like its own ecosystem of taste, and I'm not trying to hang out. I mean, I got some guy on Reddit years ago is still mad at me that I didn't. I guess I was tabling next to him and I didn't like his comics or something, and so I didn't give him compliments or something. You know?
He's holding a grudge.
Yeah, he talked shit about me on Reddit.
Oh God.
But I'm like, I probably didn't like your comics, and
Imagine.
I couldn't find a way,
Double
I couldn't find a way to like tell you how I
double
liked your
down.
comics. I don't know.
Like your art was shit, and
Yeah,
that's
your
how it
shit was
is.
mid, and I didn't know how to fucking look you in the eye. I don't know.
Imagine like I couldn't respect you after that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I feel like as an artist, like you should have thicker skin. You're gonna go to a place like a convention to promote your art.
Yeah. But I have no recollection. Maybe his stuff was good. I don't know. I was fucking awkward as hell like 20 years ago, you know?
Oh, it was 20 years ago. Oh, so back in your comic book days.
Yeah, when I was just doing the convention circuit.
Oh,
Um,
back
no,
in your angsty days.
yeah, I was like super angsty back then. So I have no
Oh yeah,
idea.
we
I
all
don't
were.
know. I don't, you know, I probably was a dickhead to this guy. I don't know.
But the bottom line is he shouldn't be holding a grudge about that though. Like you're an artist, like
Yeah.
to make good art and then be
I,
successful, and that's how you shove it in people's face.
I actually wrote him an apology.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mean it?
Huh?
Did you mean it? Like you meant the
I
apology?
did. I didn't want to bum him out, being like,
Mm.
he didn't even fucking talk to me. Whatever. I didn't mean to be a dickhead. I wasn't trying to. You know what I mean? I probably didn't like his art, and I probably didn't know how to engage with him about it, like in a way to be nice. Like I don't. I'm bad at giving compliments to people who I like their art. You know.
But
So
here's the question though, like back then,
yeah,
speaking about Jesse back then,
yeah.
like if somebody shitted on your art, would you hold a grudge 15 minutes later about it?
I'm already like hard on myself, so if someone didn't, I never expected anyone to like what I was doing. It's always just, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I put my stuff
Right.
out. I've handed back in the day when I was like a struggling to find a publisher and stuff like that. I would go to conventions with photocopies of my comics and stuff, and I would hand them to publishers I loved, you know, and I watched them just take it and throw it on the pile of,
Oh
you know what I mean? Because
man.
they get all these people with the same idea, and it's like,
Right.
of course they're not gonna read my like it's just another piece of shit Xerox thing that they're getting from somebody, you know. So I would watch.
Exactly.
I remember like going to the Fantagraphics table, and whoever was tabling might have been uh Kim Thompson at the time. I watched him like take my comic and just like fucking, you know, just like throw it. He's like, thanks, you know. Um,
Thank you,
and
kid.
and I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. I was like, I shot my shot, you know, and but I can't expect to get the result I'm looking for, you know. That's not like having expectations is insane. It's
That's what I
like,
was gonna say. Like, if you're an artist or an actor or in
yeah,
the field of like creativity, you have to like drop expectations from your vocabulary.
yeah, for sure.
Just that's my opinion.
I think so. I think, and you know, anytime something goes right for you, it should be like a surprise. That's
Right, exactly.
that's always been my, at least the mindset I try to have about my own like whatever career or whatever.
You do
Um,
have a career.
yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. I feel uncomfortable sometimes saying career out loud.
Nah. You have to know that you have an influence over people and you do like you're an inspiration. I don't know if you know that, but you
Thanks,
do.
man.
You know you are.
I
Truth.
appreciate it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I just, you know, I wanted people to like my shit, of course, you know, but I think And like if I read my old diaries, it's just like when will people recognize me? You know.
Nobody loves me.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna hold a grudge if someone doesn't like what I'm doing, you know.
Exactly.
Um,
Like,
and like
talk
doesn't
shit
give
about
me
them
the
behind
time,
their
doesn't
back.
give me the time of day or whatever. It's just like
Mm.
they've got their own taste. When they might not, it's not everybody like glad hands everybody, regardless of whether or not they, you know, if you have a person who just likes everything and glad hands everybody, like you can't even trust that person. Like their feedback is worthless, you know, like
Somebody that loves everybody doesn't
yeah,
love anybody.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
always been my motto.
Yeah. So you gotta find someone who's got opinions, and maybe someone with opinions might be into what you're doing, and then you know at least like it's like a discerning audience, someone who's got taste, and the taste is subjective, right? Too. So like I've got certain tastes. I like certain things and I really don't like certain things, but that doesn't mean the things I don't like are bad. They're just bad to me, you know. So yeah, there's no like art is subjective. Taste is thanks for the bits.
Yeah, sorry, you
Totally
spin back, so I have
taste is totally subjective. So like I'm not trying to say what how I feel about something is like the truth or anything like that, you know.
I think anybody that is like a rational, sound mind and body, they
Yeah.
know like when somebody says, "Hey, I like this" or "I dislike this,"
Uh-huh.
it's all about opinion and taste.
Yeah, you need to have taste, especially as an artist. You have to have taste, or else like how are you making decisions in your life? Like how are you making decisions about your own art? It doesn't make any sense. You have to have opinions, strong opinions. Um, but that doesn't mean like your opinions are facts, you know? It's a different thing.
An opinion is never a fact. Everybody always has to remember that an
Yeah.
opinion can never be a fact.
Right now it's Pressure Matt is on the call. He's a
Hi.
member of the Discord, and he gets phone privileges as a member of the Discord,
Hop
or
on
like
Discord. You guys wanna hop
active
on,
member
right?
of the Discords can call in if they want. Because I think I'm done drawing. I've been like, I figured out this basement area, so I'm just talking to Pressure Matt until I feel like stopping, because I've been streaming for like 3 hours.
That is true though. Opinions is sometimes based on facts. That is true. I take that back.
Opinions is what?
Sometimes based on facts. You know,
Yeah, but
somebody
when
in
it
the
comes
chat,
to
Twitch
art,
chat.
like there's nothing like you can't, you know, like I can't say that, for example, like I can't say that Frozen 2 is bad, you know. It's bad to me.
Right. And to me as well.
But
Rushed. It's not good.
there's like millions of people who fucking love Frozen 2.
Imagine, like, the way I think about it is like, imagine telling that little girl that just saw Frozen 2 when she's crying and she's like so like emotional about like this great experience. And you go up to her as a grown adult and be like, you know, you just watched a shitty ass movie, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
like,
not. It's not to, you know what I mean? It's like just to me. So I always try to say, whenever I say like something critical, I try to like add the tag at the end, being like to me or whatever, you know. In my opinion.
in my opinion,
Yeah, or whatever.
that's what sucks about it. You always have to do that. In my
Yeah.
opinion, or to me, it's bad.
Yeah. I can say that okay, there are some things that I'll like stand my ground and say it's objectively bad or whatever.
Like
But
what?
like
Pancakes?
What?
Pancakes?
Pancakes? No, I love
Pink
pancakes.
pancakes. I
Pink?
cannot stand pancakes.
Really?
I think pancakes are good for the first about 30 seconds and then they're done.
Damn, I love pancakes. So there you go. Yeah.
Right, there you
There's
go.
no,
Like,
no objective truth.
Right. So what is objectively just like?
Objectively bad?
Right.
What's objectively bad? I know I've had this talk. I've said things that are objectively bad before. Where
Trusting you to give us
I've like stood my
an
ground,
honest
been like,
opinion.
you can't argue with me. It's bad. It's like
You
objectively
speaking
bad.
like artistically, like
Yeah,
cartoons.
about art.
Yeah, okay.
Um, oh yeah, the fucking, I mean, this is easy to pile on, but like Natasha Lyonne produced a AI cartoon that was like Oscar nominated, and that shit is objectively bad. Oh yeah, you know what's objectively bad? The boy, the horse,
me.
the boy, the horse, and the mole, and the fucking twat. Whatever that fucking
I never seen it. Never
that
even
Christmas
heard of
fucking piece of shit fucking movie.
it. I never seen it.
What is that called? The boy, the horse, and the fucking shithead piece of shit.
Shithead.
That fucking shit
The
sucks.
piece of shit
dude.
shithead.
Oh yeah. What is it called? Hold on, let me look it up. The boy, the
Boy,
horse.
the head, and the
Oh, the
shithead.
boy, the horse, the fox, and the mole.
I've never seen
You
it.
ever seen that?
It was nominated for an Oscar.
I think it won that year.
What the?
Academy Award-winning animated short by Charlie Mackesy.
What the hell?
Fucking piece of shit. Garbage.
God
Just
damn.
total fucking slop. That shit. Yeah. So to me that's like objectively bad. Although like I'm being really mean right now, so it's like you could say it's like animated pretty well. You know?
Are you trying to give it a compliment? No, it was animated pretty well.
Oh Cheng, at least you tried, man. You gave it you gave it 4 chances. That's like what I did with that game
Yeah,
Crimson
you were
Desert.
playing that.
Crimson
You were
Desert.
playing. You were playing. Yo,
I put like
I
put like 80 hours into Crimson Desert trying to be like, people keep saying it gets good. I'm gonna try. I mean, I spent money on this thing. I'm gonna put my hours in and try to find the good aspect of this game, and I never found it. That game sucks, dick.
I would hop on Discord and it would give me like the little sidebar, and it would be like, Jesse's playing Crimson Desert again.
Yeah.
And I would be like, how is he playing this game? Like,
I don't know.
Are terrible things.
So many people like were just saying how it was great. I think there was like a mass derangement, Crimson Desert derangement syndrome was going on. Why was the boy and the horse and the dog and the tail good bad? Horse and the fox and the what? Horse and the fox and the boy, the mole, the fox and the horse. The boy, the mole, the fox and the horse. Why was it bad? All right.
Good question.
It's like it's like if you took the most like the most like basic as in you basic, you know, like philosophical Hallmark cards and turn that into a series of scenes that had nothing to do with each other, and a series of like character motivations that had nothing to do with each other except to say things that feel good and feel sentimental and nostalgic about life or something, in the form of a Christmas movie that is like so cynically like put together in order to like make really stupid people feel emotions. And that is the boy, the horse, the bull, and the fox and the horse. Just complete fucking trash. Fucking nothingness. And I feel bad for fucking the people involved should be ashamed of themselves.
Ooh.
And you won an Oscar.
Yes.
Good for you, you fuck. You fucking dorks.
They'll cuddle up in bed with their Oscar and be fine. Somewhat.
Anyway, that's what it's objectively bad to me. To me.
You're right, exactly. You gotta like to me.
I mean, I watched it like I saw it came on television on Christmas. I was like at my girlfriend's house on Christmas, my ex-girlfriend's house on Christmas with her family, and it just came on television, and I watched it with her family, and there were people like in the room who were like, "That was amazing," you know, and I was like, oh, what? Like, you know what I mean? I felt like I was just
in shock.
I was sitting there in like horror. I'd be like, I can't believe who made this fucking treacly fucking like manipulative fucking trash, you know?
Wow.
But
It's
I couldn't say anything
manipulative
because people
trash.
were like, that was beautiful, you know? So
you had a beautiful experience, so you can't talk about it.
Loving Jin. Sounds like that one A24 film. Loving Jin or whatever about the robot. I didn't even hear about that.
What is that movie that like kind of circling back? What's that film that won the Oscar, but it was like a claymation film about an autistic person?
I don't know.
That was really good. Oh, I forgot the name of the movie. But it was really good. It was about like this autistic person that he makes a pen pal with somebody that's across the states or across the country.
You've got mail? I don't know. I don't know.
And You Got Mail. Your shout out to You Got Mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the movie.
I don't know. Is it claymation?
Comments got it. Yeah, it was claymation.
I don't know.
Great movie.
It was good.
Hold on, I gotta Google them. Yeah, it was really good.
When
Really good.
was that? When did that come out?
I think it might have been like 2011.
Okay.
I could be getting my timelines wrong. Hold on. Let me research it. Let me Google it real quick. Get my facts straight.
Yeah, I don't mind if something is emotional. Obviously, like I think, you know, it's great. I've seen great emotional movies that made me cry, and that's part of storytelling. But when it's so obviously just, it's like the equivalent of like live, laugh, love, having a live, laugh, love
moment
sign in your house, like, or whatever, or like in this house, you know, shit you buy from IKEA to like positive affirmation shit that's supposed to make you feel emotional, you know, or something about life. And you make that a whole film, that's crazy. You're fucking insane if you want to do that. Yeah. Like, that's like, there's something like you're fucking deranged, dude, if you're making something. And you're deranged if you like are the members of the Academy voting on something, some shit like that.
But
crazy terrain.
When can we pinpoint the year or the moment when the Academy actually like truly understood animation?
Yeah, they don't really. I mean, Boy and the Heron won. Boy and the Heron won, didn't it? Didn't it win the Academy Award?
I think it did, but it wasn't his best work though.
To me, it's his best. It's his best film.
You think The Boy and the Heron?
Yeah.
You know, like Spirited Away.
Nope.
The Howl's Moving Castle.
Definitely not. Definitely not Howl's Moving Castle for me. I mean, I love Spirited. I love Spirited Away. I love fucking Nausicaa. I love Princess Mononoke. I love
Grave of Fireflies.
It's a different director, but I love
same studio though, right?
Same studio. I love My Neighbor Totoro. You know, I love all his films, Porco Rosso, but my favorite Miyazaki film, I think, is Boy and the Heron.
Wow.
Yep.
That's like his last film.
Yep. I thought it was his most mature, most abstract, uh, most like um seemingly like most like bare like his heart on his sleeve, like for all of its flaws and fucking beautiful and fucking hard to decode. Just
Very hard to
fucking
decode.
just a
Like
banger.
almost too hard.
Yeah, that's why I love it. I'm like, this shit is fucking a Rubik's cube of Miyazaki's psyche.
Literally.
It's great.
By the way, the film I was talking about is called Marion Max.
Marion Max.
Anybody knows
Oh
that
yeah,
film?
okay, I remember that movie. I didn't see it, but I saw
Mm.
trailers for it. I know people liked it. I think he's making another. Yeah, I mean, if I can, I mean, those are all banger films, but I saw Boy and the Heron, and I was like, I've only seen it once. I saw it in the theater, and I was like, this is his best film. That's how I felt like walking out. So
I saw it in theaters as well, and I will say like the ending made me tear up when
For
the
sure.
boy goes like, he goes home.
yeah.
Specifically when he goes, the war was over.
I mean,
Yeah.
the scene where he sees his mother in that room, and the whole room catches on fire, and you're just like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, and it's so emotional at the same time. You're just like, this is like some real fucked up, like psychological, symbolic shit going on, and I still don't really know what it means. Like, I'm just like, holy fuck, like when that was happening, because you wanted to have this like connection, you wanted him to like finally get the emotional relief of what he was looking for, and then she just like it turns into like a horror movie.
And to a certain extent, if you really think about Miyazaki's story, like, you don't want to know what it means, you just want to like see it.
It's like really uncompromising movie.
Exactly, very uncompromising, because obviously Miyazaki, he writes a lot of movies about war and depressing stuff that you don't want to dive deeper into that, like the consequences of that.
Yeah, and it doesn't tell you like what it's doing. Whereas you compare like Boy and the Heron to something like Inside Out, which I liked Inside Out. I didn't see Inside Out too, but Inside Out, a movie like Inside Out will tell you everything step by step, what's happening emotionally,
how to feel,
and like what it means, and they'll do the imaginary friend, whatever, Mr. Bilbo Baggins or whatever. What was that? What was that elephant? His imaginary friend, imaginary friend.
He wasn't Bilbo Baggins, I'll tell you that.
Or whatever it was. Which that shit made me cry. I was like crying uncontrollably in the theater, like watching that. But like, I knew I was being like used. You know what I mean? Like I was being like, I was like, you guys know how to do this. You fucking, you're manipulating me.
You got me.
You got me. I can't. And that's fine. I'm like, you guys know what you're doing. Bing bong. Yeah, it was super emotional, but also like the whole time you're just like a passive spectator on this thing, because they're feeding you everything you need to know in every moment. And a movie like Boy and the Heron, which is like about like the inner psyche, I guess, of like Miyazaki and his son, and him like projecting shit onto his son and stuff like that. But like
literally,
like he's not giving you anything. Like he sets up a world, and then it's just like, here you go, and here's all my baggage, here's all my shit, and
wait, be honest though, Jesse.
Yeah.
Like, you never wrote a work. Have you never wrote like a piece of work that, here's my baggage, take it, and even if you don't understand, it's okay, but here it is. You never done that?
Well, but I mean, like, what I mean is like he made like a hit movie that did that,
But you might have like a hit as well that does that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like, when I see that, I'm like, that's what I aspired. That's what I'm
There you go.
aspire
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I see what you're saying.
So that's why I think Boy in the Heron hit me so hard, because I was like waiting. I was waiting for an animated feature that would do something like that in the modern day. In the
Right.
modern day, not just like some old Russian fucking experimental film. You know what I mean, from the '60s or whatever.
Jesus. Like what's
Uh,
his face? Forgot his name. But anyway.
yeah. So I mean, to me, that's his masterpiece. I mean, he's made a bunch of masterpieces, but that's his. To me,
His
that's
magnum opus.
yeah, that's his number one for me.
Got you, got you.
Uh, funny
Is
how
Jesus
Miyazaki's
2 your number one?
Jesus too. At this point, I'm like I've like moved on. I'm like, okay, if I did it again, I could do it better, you know.
Wow.
So
That's just the artist in you, like criticizing yourself, I think.
yeah, I think every time you make something, you've got about a week of loving it, and then you're like,
Right.
okay,
Oh
well, if I
God.
had a second chance, I would have changed this, I would have changed that, you
Mm.
know. Um, yeah, but you know, I'm still proud of it, but I can see all the flaws that I would like change next time. Uh, Sammy Harcum said a Brian Chippendale comic that inspired him was one where one character asks the other character what he's holding, and the character says, it's the arm of my beloved." Uh,
Mm.
okay. Funny how Miyazaki films can have moments of pure fun and endless imagination, and then out of nowhere, images of war and death appear just in it for the ride. Yeah.
He Miyazaki, you could tell like he went to World War II,
Yeah.
like heavily, badly.
I think the Japanese, for what it was worth, like they if you get designated the role of I'm an artist, you know, um,
Mm.
and I'm like the crazy artist or whatever. If you get that, if you can manage to get the position of like I'm the eccentric artist, it's like a very very like highly esteemed position,
Mm.
and then you can kind of like run rampant and do whatever the fuck you want. And
Wait, to be fair, like we're the same way. Like Americans are the same way. Um, Hunter S. Thompson,
yeah, used to,
Obi.
yeah, Hunter S. I mean, it's a different era though. I think like
Yeah, that's true.
American respect for art, like art is like more of a product in America these days. I think, I don't know.
Mm.
With that, they don't have the same like romance about. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I might be wrong
No,
about
no,
that. I don't know. I think
no.
Europeans and I mean Japan has its own problems when it comes to art and craft and stuff like that that can be like super restrictive, but Miyazaki gets the pass. Certain Japanese artists get a pass, and they can kind of just be these like run rampant auteurs.
Very true. That's very true.
And
But I think it's just like again, like going back to like the whole like, you know, America is like what is like the forefront of art for a lot of people.
yeah,
So
I think
we'll
in I
criticize.
think in the in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 90s, American art, like people like Ralph Bakshi and stuff like that, and
Right, yeah.
American auteurs, like live action filmmakers like Kubrick, and probably the last one being like, I don't know, there was a slew of them in the 90s, like you know, Cronenberg and Tarantino and fucking uh, even people like mm, probably the last one right now is Christopher Nolan, because he did start off.
Wow.
I mean, he
You
started
really
off
think so?
well. He's
What
like,
about Ari Aster? Ari Aster and
yeah, Ari Aster.
Mike McFlanagan. Mike McFlanagan.
Or who's
You don't
that?
really like
What did he do?
Mike Michael Mc he did you already seen like the Netflix show Midnight Mass?
Oh, I only saw bits and pieces of that.
Midnight Mass, that horror movie Hush.
I didn't see
Recent
it.
horror movie Hush.
No.
Mm.
There
I feel
are
like Mike
like
Flanagan.
okay, there are auteurs still around, American auteurs, but they don't get the I don't think they get the red carpet the way they used to. Does that make
Not
sense?
at all.
Like
You're very right.
they're like really really rare now. They don't get the
Very
same
much so.
budgets they used to, except for people like and I put the reason why I put Chris Nolan in that category is because even though I always have a problem with all of his movies, and I also enjoy them, but like I feel mixed about every single one. But
As you should.
he came
Nolan's not a god,
he
people.
came
Nolan is
from
not a god.
he came from that like class, like basically that class of people like with Memento. You know, he was like in that sort of
Yeah.
like the like golden age of Miramax, you know, like creating these like celebrity auteur directors. And
Right. Kevin Smith.
yeah, I mean even Kevin Smith and like the fucking dude that made Boondock Saints or whatever. Like
Oh yeah, Boondock Saints.
um
I love Boondock Saints.
but there was an era where like, you know, I mean even up through the 80s, like dudes like Oliver Stone and um
Brian De Palma.
yeah, I mean in the 90s, I feel like the 90s was the last gasp of like looking for geniuses, basically like looking like the movie industry was basically looking for like super unique visionaries, and that was the selling point. Like check out this director you've never, you know, even people like Jane Campion and like I don't know. There was like blockbuster stuff happening too, but a big audiences would go see these like weird auteur filmmakers also,
They
and
would.
that like
But I feel like the technology kind of fucked that up. Technology and Y2K kind of fucked the whole like letting creative people thrive and do things that would be popular just by word of mouth.
yeah.
I feel like just social media.
Right. Paul Thomas Anderson is like one of the few like standout, like people are like, oh, he's a genius, like auteur. The same like aura, the same aura that a lot of these 90s auteurs had, and also, you know, 70s,
Right.
70s, somewhat 80s. Like they were 80s was sort of like a trying to kill that in a way. 80s was like, but there was still great shit.
Blockbuster Central, like,
Yeah.
but it was like, you know, we're trying to make a blockbuster, like, box office hit. Every movie
Yeah.
had to be block like a
Yeah,
hit
it was like
instead of, like,
it was like the
making art.
return to sort of more like basic sensibilities and things like that. But there were still like great films coming out in the 80s. Like there were still
Oh,
great
yeah.
independent films coming out in the 80s, but it wasn't as strong of a presence as the 70s, but all that shit died in the basically around, I don't know, around like 2000 fucking
5,
yeah, maybe around then. I don't know.
I think 2005. That's my opinion. I think after 2005, it was all about like, yo, studios, we gotta like bust out hits.
I think it was the death
any
of
major
basically
stars.
with the death of DVDs. Like whenever that started happening, when Netflix stopped shipping DVDs.
Oh, it's like 20, what, 12, 2011?
Yeah, so maybe that's around, and like the rise of like superhero films. That's sort of like the death of the auteur in a lot of the ways.
Avengers came out 2012, so that was like after that came out, forget about it.
Oh Chang hates Paul Thomas Anderson. I disagree. I think I think Paul Thomas Anderson, I don't like all of his movies, but I think he's still like, when I see his movies in the theater, I'm like, this is a real filmmaker. That's how
He makes great films. He does.
yeah. I mean, it does come down to taste, but when I I remember seeing The Master in the theater and being like, I felt like I was drinking a huge glass of water. Just I hadn't seen a real movie in so long, and The Master for once felt like an actual cinematic like experience. Um, yeah, the even though I had problems with The Master, it's still like just the shots, just like the way he was framing shots. I was just like, this is a fucking real movie. Um, I didn't see Licorice Pizza. Actually, I think Licorice Pizza was the height of me being annoyed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and I was like not willing to see his movies anymore. So I really like didn't want to see Licorice Pizza, and I didn't want to see what was that movie about the tailor, the fashion designer, fucking I forget. I like watched the first 10 minutes of it and I turned it off. I don't think he's a
Wait,
I don't
the first 10 minutes of what?
Phantom Thread. I turned it off after like 10 minutes.
That's not a good movie. It's not.
Well, I had friends
Okay,
who
what
liked
anybody
it.
says. No,
I don't
Phantom
know.
Thread
I
is
don't
not a good
know.
movie.
Well, I don't know if Paul Thomas Anderson is a I don't think he's a genius, but I think he's a great filmmaker. And you don't have to be a genius to be a great filmmaker.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis is the greatest actor that ever lived. The greatest film actor. That's my opinion.
Yeah, he's one of the best for sure.
I think he is the greatest. Yeah.
You think he's the greatest?
I think he's the greatest film actor. I think Daniel Day-Lewis is the greatest film actor ever.
There's a case to be made.
Dedication. I think the dedication that he puts to his roles.
Yeah.
I think the way that he method acts to the point where like he doesn't get flack by his co-stars.
Yeah. Oh, you cut out. Oh, I lost him. I lost Pressure Matt. Well, that's a good point to end the call, I think. Sorry, Pressure Matt. I can't hear you anymore. I just hear the flowers and the birds. Who's my Daniel Day-Lewis is like my favorite actor. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is great. My favorite actor ever? Who's my favorite actor ever? Rip Torn? Maybe? Brando's great. Kinski is tiring for me. I mean, Kinski is great, but I don't think he's like the greatest actor. He's just like the most intense actor. I think I used to say Rip Torn was my favorite actor. I like Peter Sellers. Peter Sellers is a great actor. I love that scene where Rip Torn almost kills Norman Mailer in Maidstone. That's not a good movie, but that shit is amazing. Who else do I like? I thought Leonardo DiCaprio was great in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Um, I think Sean Penn is great. I know he gets a lot of flack for being a kind of a dumbass, but Sean Penn has been fucking amazing in so many movies. Hey, thanks for the raid. Hello. Wait, do I say thanks for the raid? What do I say? Welcome? Hey, what's up, Mad Lich King? Yeah, Peter Sellers. I love Peter Sellers. I don't know. I love Steve Martin. I think Steve Martin is a great actor. Oh, Mickey Rourke's a great actor. For sure. I love Mickey Rourke. I don't think Mickey Rourke got the kind of roles that Sean Penn got, you know? What's up, Mad Lich King? I'm doing good. We were just shooting the shit about movies. I kind of got tired of drawing, so I was just talking to people about movies for the past, like, hour. And acting. Warren Beatty's great. Yeah, I love Dick Tracy. I love the Dick Tracy movie. I think Dick Tracy movie is like one of the greatest like art directed films ever. That movie looks amazing. It's not a great movie, but it looks fucking awesome. If you ever get a chance to rewatch Dick Tracy. You're doing some game asset making in 3D. Nice. What are you doing it in? Are you doing it in Blender or ZBrush? My problem with Warren Beatty sometimes is that I think he kind of has like Chevy Chase syndrome. It's like he kind of knew he was a really good looking guy, and that sort of holds him back as an actor a little bit. In my opinion, kind of limits his like range. Feel that way about Robert Redford also. I think Warren Beatty was I think Chevy Chase had talent. He had the thing that he did that worked. I think his like I don't think Fletch is a good movie, but I think he's great as Fletch. And he's great in the vacation movies. Yeah, maybe. I like Chevy Chase. Three Amigos. He's great in Caddyshack. He's like a standout in Caddyshack for sure. Okay, well anyway. This shit happens. So let me play it back from the top. Not all the way at the top, but I'll just do one playback from like where I've made progress on this thing. I'm like 14 minutes in. see. Hey, thanks for the follow. Okay, start from the introduction to Dogon. We can start from here, I think. Power Ranger Zords. Okay. So... Oops. Let's just press play. He walks out of the slop pig sex pit and then wipes his grundle and throws it on his poor assistant Nomo. And then he has to have his like Star Wars prequel meeting with the council. And then Nomu goes to wash the towel, and then they have to have a talk with the council about their like economy collapsing. And it's really bad. And then the power goes out, and then everybody gets pissed off. And they decide they're gonna start a coup. So they're all... And then he tells them he's going to talk to the Emperor of the Universe about getting more subsidies for their planet. And then he's like, I'm going to go talk to the Emperor, just like chill out. And then they all back off. And then he tells his assistant to go turn the power back on. And divert the power away from the slums so they can power the palace. And then there's a bunch of dialogue. And then he talks about they might have to do a plan B if the Emperor doesn't give them resources. And then he sends his slave down to the basement to turn on the generators. And then this is the part I was just working on. So they unplug the power to the slums and then plug it into to power up the palace. And that's as far as I've gotten with this scene. All right, have fun with Fortnite. Yeah, I'm gonna download Mortal Shell and check out the demo on my PS5. Oh, I love Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is one of my all-time favorite actors for sure. I love fucking Vampire's Kiss is one of my all-time favorite movies. One of the greatest acting performances in the history of cinema. It's Vampire's Kiss. I didn't see Mandy. I still need to see Mandy. Again, I always hear mixed reviews about it, but some people love it and some people are just like, eh. I don't know what that's all about. I guess it's sort of like a vibe movie. Maybe I'll watch it tonight instead of playing video games. Watch Mandy. Just like make myself feel sick. um, Word. Okay. Anyway, that's how far I've gone with this thing. I mean, that was like the last couple 2 minutes or whatever, 3 minutes of this board I've been working on. But it's at, where am I at now? 13 minutes, 30 seconds currently. Bunch of shit if you haven't seen it. Word. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop streaming. I'm gonna go do something else. All right, good hang. Bye, everybody.